Hello all. Here we start with the fifth part of this tutorial, modeling, texturing and lighting an interior in 3ds Max using V-Ray. So let's get started. So we have some textures over here. So first let's open the reference file over here. So now let's set this rendering as a V-Ray rendering. So go into rendering, render setup, and let's set it as V-Ray over here. Now the next part is, let's start with the texturing part. First we'll texture the floor over here. So we have a wooden floor, we can use a wooden flooring also over here. So let's go into material, press M on your keyboard, can go over here. You have two material editors, you have compact and slate material. So slate material editor is like a node based editor. So if you want to use a node based material editor, you can use a node based material editor. So you can use any of it. So if you are going to use a node based material editor, you have to take a V-Ray material over here very first of all. You can go on to the top. You can use a bitmap over here. You can call the bitmap over here. So you have the new texture. We have some textures over here. We have copied some new textures over here. So you can take those textures, like we have the textures over here. So we'll take one texture over here. Okay, we'll take this texture. We have a wood pattern over here, so you can take this wooden pattern and you can connect this wooden pattern to the diffuse map. So as soon as you connect this wooden pattern over here, you can easily apply this over here. So as you can see, your wooden texture is connected over here with the map. So this is a way you can use a slate material. So if you are a beginner, you can use a compact material editor also. So you can go over here. So let's reset it again. So you can go into the standard materials, V-Ray material over here. You can go into the diffuse map and take a bitmap over here and use a wooden pattern over here and apply this wooden pattern. So you can utilize it. You can use the tiling option over here. If you want to increase or decrease the tiling, you can use the styling options. So you can rename it as wooden floor. If you want to give a bit of reflection, you can go into the reflection and you can give a bit of reflection. Now the second part we are going to do over here is we are going to make a glass over here. So let's give a glass material over here. For a glass material, you can go into the standard options, V-Ray. After going into the V-Ray, we have an option called refract. So if you are going to use the refract material over here for giving a glass, so let's make the refract as total white and a bit of reflect. So you should have a reflection of a glass. You can give this in this way. So you can rename it. You can rename this as your glass material. So if you want to unwrap any of the objects, you can easily unwrap it, as we have seen in the previous tutorials for unwrapping any of the objects. So let's give the metal texture over here, as we have a metal over here. So go into standard, V-Ray material, and we'll use the same materials over here. We have some kind of metal textures. You can take some metal textures over here. So we do have a different metal textures. You can use this light brushed metal texture. So you can use this light brushed metal texture. So if the texture doesn't fit over here, you can use a UVW map to fit that particular texture. So you can use this in this way. After putting this texture, you can use the reflection amount to give a bit of more reflection to the texture. So this, you can convert this into editable poly after you have given this particular texture. So let's give a texture for the wall also. So just select the wall, So you can rename this texture as a metal texture over here. Now fourth over here, let's select this, go into standard, let's go into the V-Ray material, and into this V-Ray material you can go into this diffuse bitmap, and again let's take a wall texture. So if you have a wall texture, you can take a wall texture. So we have a few textures, we have taken some textures over here. You can take this texture also for a wall. So you can take this texture for a wall, so you can assign this texture. So if the texture doesn't fit over here, you can easily use a UVW map. You can use a UVW map and you can fit it by using a box option. Or if you want to show some kind of a cracks or something, or any kind of a design pattern, so you have to unwrap it. So let's convert this into editable poly. Now select this texture. Select this both materials. Let's give the same metal material over here. So if you want to give a metal over here, you can assign it. So very first of all, we can just convert all these objects into the editable poly. Select this, shift select this, control select this, and use a metal material. Just assign it. So just click over here and you can use UVW map again over here. You can make it a bit in a box. Again select this and use it in a box form. So you can select this both the materials and convert to editable poly. So now we have a fabric texture, we can say a leather kind of a texture. So select this, go over here, again go into the standard materials, and you can go into this diffuse bitmap and you can take a leather texture. So we do have a leather texture over here, so we can take leather texture. We just checking out the images. So this is also kind of a leather texture, you can utilize it. So let's take this black leather texture over here. So let's assign this texture. So as you can see over here, we have actually assigned this texture over here. So you can just save your file. And also we have taken one green kind of a leather texture over here. So first we'll apply this metal texture over here for this, and UVW map, and give it a box. And for this you can go into this V-Ray material. You can also use a multi-sub object, as we have seen in the previous tutorials. You can go into this and let's give a kind of a green texture over here. That is what you can take this for a leather texture over here for this. So now select this. We'll give some texture to the frames over here also. Make sure it's on the floor. So we do have a frame also over here. So we can give some texture to the books. So let's give some texture to the books. So go into standard, V-Ray material, and you can go over here, take it as a bitmap, So you can assign this texture over here and use a UVW map over here for the box. So you can resize it, you can scale it. As you can see, we have scaled it. So you can convert this into editable poly. So you can apply the same texture. Or what you can do is you can, so if you have the same kind of books, so you can just press shift over here and make a copy of it. So you have the books copy over here, you can assign it over here. You can assign the same kind of a texture over here. So let's take another texture of a book. So let's take a texture of a book. Okay, so we have a texture of a book over here. So let's take this and let's assign this texture. So you can use a UVW map over here again, and you can take a box and you can easily increase its width. So now as you can see, we have got some textures over here. So select all these books. Let's go into this, take a new material, go into this, let's take a new material. Enter the bitmap. We have some kind of clubbed up books. So we have this texture over here. So you can assign this texture. You can use a UVW map and use a box texture, and you can push it. No, you can just fit it. So what you can do is you can just, first of all, you can attach it. If you want to attach it, you can easily attach it. So if you select this individual, you can make this as individual, use a box and increase the width. So this is like, doesn't fit over here, it doesn't go with this. So let's undo this texture. We don't need this texture because we need to work out in some different kind of a way. So till then we can use this textures. You can use this UVW map over here, and you can use a box. So we are going to repeat this in this particular manner for all of it. So let's go into the camera view and you can see the difference. The textures which you have put up over here, you can apply it. So thanks for watching this tutorial. We'll continue in the next part.